Hi guys, I'm currently a junior in high school. It's like my third week of school or fourth week, I'm not really sure. But the point is, I was just a sophomore and sophomore year changed my life. Freshman year also changed my life. I should have done one of these for freshman year too, but when I think about my life now compared to the very beginning of sophomore year, there's a lot of things that happened throughout the year, and I thought this video was a cute idea because I know people do it like when they turn 18, they'll be like 17 things I learned being 17, you know? So I made a list of 10 things I learned while being in 10th grade. The first thing that I really just think of when I think of 10th grade is being in a toxic relationship, which is a little sad, but it's just how my year went. So the first thing I learned is that you can't force something to work no matter how much you want it to. And it's very true because I fought for months to try to fix what was already broken. There was no fixing it, and it's just a sad situation because we both like really loved each other. It's just our relationship did not work. We just did not work for the last like 6 months of our relationship, and it really affected my year because my entire year was very up and down. Like, I would have such a great day with my friends and then the next day cry all day because I got in a fight, whatever. So yeah, that's the first lesson. Not really fun, but and a little sad, but we're still friends. It's cool. It's cool. The next thing I learned is that anything is possible and you need to enjoy your life. I think everyone had this realization last year when it got cut short, because everyone thought March, why would we end school in March, you know? School ends in June, we still have like 3 more months, but no, our last day of school was March 13th, I still remember. I already didn't really take it for granted. Like, a lot of my friends were excited to be off for a while, and if it was like a little break I would have been excited, but I always knew that I liked going to school and like having a scheduled life like that. But yeah, it just shows that anything could happen, and I wish I knew it was my last day, you know? Like, on your last day of school you have fun and say bye to everyone. Like, we just never knew. The third thing I learned is go to as many sports games and dress up as much as possible for homecoming week or any spirit week. For some reason, freshman year, none of us dressed up for homecoming, none of us went to homecoming, we went to some football games and like lacrosse games and stuff, but sophomore year, the whole homecoming week, my entire grade was the most spirited grade, and for some reason we just all came together, decided to go to homecoming this year, all dress up the whole week, do all the spirit things, and it was one of the best weeks of my entire life still. It's almost been a year. It's actually really upsetting that I don't get a homecoming week this year or a homecoming, and you know, not doing it freshman year didn't seem like a big deal. We still had 3 more years, but now it's like at most we get 2 years because there's no homecoming week this year. But it was just really fun. So if you're in high school, do all the spirited stuff you don't get to do in middle school or anything. Like, that's part of the high school experience. The next thing I learned, I made way more friends this year. I just started talking to new people. I don't know, I just never talked to some people before, and I learned that you could be open to hanging out with anyone, and it doesn't have to be like you guys are best friends. You could just hang out with some people for fun, hang out in bigger groups, like just expand your circle. You might as well just get to know everyone. Like, you guys are together for high school and then you might never see anyone ever again, so you might as well just get to know as much people as possible, hang out with whoever you want. Like, especially now, we can't even hang out with anyone even if we wanted to, so it's like stresses it even more that I'm glad I got to talk to new people this year and hang out with them. Next thing I learned is you can go out, have fun, and be crazy. Go to all the parties you wanted to. I'm really happy the second half of sophomore year, even the day before like everything shut down because of Corona, I went to parties every weekend with my friends. Like, I never ever went to parties till like December of sophomore year, and then we went to one party and had a lot of fun, and then like we started finding all these parties. Like, almost every weekend we went to parties, and it was just really fun. Like, you don't have to be serious, you can go out and party, like do what you want, you know, you're in high school. Like, especially now we can't go to a party like for a long time, so I'm really glad I partied, I guess. Like whatever, it doesn't matter. The next thing I learned, I had a friend group this whole year, and a lot of times we hung out on school days and had sleepovers like the whole weekend, and that was a lot for me. I never used to hang out with people that much, but I learned like even if you're tired, like you want to go make memories with your friends, because like you're gonna look back and what, like you spent the weekend like sleeping in. No, you spent the whole weekend sleeping at your friend's house with like 6 people, having fun, like baking cookies at 2 in the morning, you know, like even on weekdays, like you only get 2 days of the weekend, so you can hang out on weekdays too. Like just because there's school doesn't mean you can hang out. Like a lot of times right after school we just went out to eat, or like went to go study at Barnes and Nobles, just like stupid stuff like that. Like it gives you memories to look back on. The next thing I learned also goes with kind of my friend group. We had a very big friend group, I guess, for the first half of the year, or kind of the middle of the year, whatever, but it's fun to have like hang out with a lot of people. Like you don't feel like you have to always go out and do stuff. You could just like sit in a house and talk because there's like so many people. It's fun, you know? But you always have to remember like who's always going to be there for you. You can't get wrapped up in the fact that like you have all these friends. Like you have to remember who's actually there for you, because the friend group isn't going to last. It's just like a fun little thing that had its time, and then you're gonna end up with who you had before, and you have to, you know, there's like drama and stuff, but don't let that get to your head. Like you have to know who's always going to be there for you and stick with those people. The next thing I learned is go get your license. So many of my friends waited like 6 months after their birthday to go get their license. I don't know why. I got my license like 3 days before Corona happened, so I didn't really get to like go out all the places I wanted to right away, you know. But it's just so much fun to have your license and like have the freedom to drive where you want, when you want, with who you want. It's just like, it was so crazy to me being able to drive without my dad in the car with just a friend. It was so crazy to me. I remember on my birthday, like I'm like the only person who actually got it on their birthday. I don't know why, but I remember on my birthday I drove all my friends to dinner, and then I had to drive home by myself. It was like so scary but so much fun. I could blast whatever music I wanted to, and it was so fun. And along with that, have a sweet 16, because I know people who were planning on having big sweet 16s that got canceled because of Corona, but besides that, not many people had sweet 16s. I went to like 2 maybe, and they were really fun. I don't know why more people didn't have sweet 16s. I feel like that's part of being like in 10th grade, is going to a lot of sweet 16s. It's like being in 7th grade and going to all these bat mitzvahs, and I feel like we didn't really get that experience a lot because of Corona, because a lot of people's birthdays were after it. But even still, a lot of people just didn't do anything for their birthday, and Corona should teach everyone to like go party, go be with big groups when you can, because you know, this happened. Now we can't even see anyone. The next thing is wear whatever you want. I wore things out of my comfort zone for the first time. Like I wore a skirt to school, and it was like the craziest thing. I was so worried, but it's like, who cares? You could wear whatever you want, whatever you think is cute. Like no one's gonna remember what you wore, and if they did, it's probably a good thing. They probably were inspired by what you wore, you know. And I think it's fun to dress cute and get dressed up for school. It like motivates you to go, especially now after we've been home for so long. Like I want to dress up every single day because I haven't dressed up in so long. And the last thing I have to say is high school relationships are temporary. There were many people who broke up this year who we all thought were gonna get married. Like I kid you not, when they broke up, like the world ended. Like we were in so much shock that they would ever break up, and now it's been so many months and they were moved on to new people and it's like normal now. But when they broke up, literally like everyone was like, there's no way, like they were gonna get married. But it's just crazy to look back on how different things are a year ago to now, because so many relationships ended that were like doing good, or a lot of relationships just don't last. It's just how it is, even if you think they are. Like some do. I don't want to tell you it's not, but I'm just saying, like, we took it so seriously. We thought like it was the end of the world when these people broke up, and now just looking back, it's like, it's still crazy to me, but now it's just normal, you know. Overall, I just have to say, after leaving 10th grade and going to 11th grade, I feel so old and I don't know what to do with myself because I still look at myself as a freshman. The fact that I'm not a freshman anymore like doesn't sit right in my brain. The fact that next year is my last year of high school before I go to college and move out of my town, like I physically can't handle it at all because I still thought I was in 8th grade last year, you know? Like, it doesn't make sense to me that I'm a junior in high school, like I'm an upperclassman. I don't see myself that old. Like, on my 17th birthday, there's no way I can turn 17 because that's just so old. But yeah, freshman and sophomore year, like, you seem like still young, but they go by so fast, and once they're over, you're just old. There's nothing you can do about it. You're just old now. So enjoy all your high school years because I'm already over halfway done and I can't deal with it. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, leave a like and I'll see you later.